everyone! In this video I'm going to demonstrate the basic stitches you'll need to do my amigurumi tutorials. So in every tutorial there are a few basic stitches that we use, and then there are some that I don't use in every tutorial, but they get used often enough that it's worth demonstrating, and in this video I'll just demonstrate them slowly so that you can learn them very well. If you're new to crochet, you should be able to do just about any one of my tutorials with the help of this video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a slip knot. The slip knot is the very first thing you need to start crocheting pretty much any of my amigurumis. And what you do is you take your yarn and you wrap it around your finger like this so that you have a loop like this. Then you take the tail of the yarn and bring it up through the loop so that you have a slip knot, and this slip knot can be adjusted so that you can make it bigger or smaller. And usually what we do after this is we put our hook into the slip knot, pull on the tail to adjust it to the size of the hook, and we've just made our slip knot. Next, I'm going to demonstrate the proper way to hold your yarn. Now, the way you hold your yarn is really up to you, but I've noticed that when I first started crocheting, I didn't hold the yarn the way I do now. I had my own way of holding it, and eventually what started happening was in the night what would happen is my finger that was using the yarn would get tension in the joints, and I'm really young still, so I shouldn't really be having joint tension, but when you don't hold the yarn properly you can damage your joints. So what was happening was I was bending my finger like this, and then when I'd flip it up it would get stuck right here and then pop up really quickly. So holding your yarn correctly is pretty important. There's more than one correct way to do it, but if you're holding it incorrectly that can be a serious problem. So I'll demonstrate how I hold my yarn. So you wrap it around your pinky, then up and over your index finger, and then you can hold it with your middle finger and your thumb. And that's how I hold my yarn now, and it's really easy to get more yarn. You're not constantly having to pull. And this is a very comfortable way for me to hold my yarn. It was a little awkward at first, but once you get used to it, it'll become very natural to you. So the first stitch we're going to go over is a chain. When you chain, you bring your yarn over your hook and pull it through the loop on your hook, like this. So we'll do it one more time. Over and through. And one more time, yarn over and through. And that is how we chain. The next stitch we're going to go over is a slip stitch. And when you slip stitch, all you do is you put your hook into whatever stitch you want to stitch into, like so. Bring your yarn over your hook, pull it through the stitch, and then pull it through the second loop on your hook, and you've just slip stitched. So the next stitch we're going to go over is a single crochet. This is probably the stitch I use most often when I'm doing amigurumi. This is your very, very basic stitch, and it's the one that gets used the most frequently. So all you need to do to single crochet is put your hook through the stitch you want to crochet into, yarn over, pull the yarn through, yarn over again, and pull it through both loops. So let's do one more. You put your hook through the stitch, yarn over, and pull it back through so that you have two loops on your hook. Then you yarn over again and pull through both loops. And one more time, through the stitch, pull your yarn through, so now you have 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through both loops, and we've just single crocheted. Next, we're going to learn to double crochet. This stitch doesn't get used as often as the single crochet, but we do use it sometimes. So all you need to do to double crochet is yarn over and then stick your hook through the stitch, pull your yarn back through, so now we have 3 loops. Yarn over again and pull through 2 loops. So there's 1 and 2, so we just pulled through 2 loops. Yarn over again and pull through both loops. All right, let's try that one more time. So we yarn over, put our hook through the stitch we want to work into, yarn over and pull our yarn through, so we have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the other 2 loops. One more time. You yarn over, put your hook through the stitch you want to work into and pull your yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the next 2 loops, and that's a double crochet. The next stitch we're going to go over is a half double crochet. And like the double crochet, this one is not used as frequently as the single crochet, but we do use it from time to time. So to half double crochet, you yarn over, put your hook through the stitch you want to work into, yarn over, and pull your yarn through. And this time we're going to yarn over, but instead of pulling through 2 loops, then yarning over and pulling through another 2 loops like the double crochet, we're just going to go straight through all 3 loops, and that's a half double crochet. So let's try that one more time. We yarn over, put our hook through the stitch we want to work into, bring our yarn through, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. Okay, let's try that one more time. Yarn over, put your hook through the stitch you want to work into, yarn over and bring your yarn through, yarn over and pull through all 3 stitches. So the next technique we're going to use is an increase. When we increase, that increases the amount of stitches we have, and that will cause our work to become wider. When we increase, all we do is put 2 stitches into 1. So first, we would single crochet 1 in a stitch. And then if we wanted to increase, we would go back into that same stitch and single crochet a second time. So let's try that one more time. We single crochet 1, then go back into that same stitch for 2. Okay, let's try that one more time. Single crochet 1 and back into the same stitch to increase for 2. So the next technique we're going to go over is a decrease, and this specific type of decrease is called an invisible decrease. And so, like the last technique we learned for increasing, increasing causes the work to become wider, and decreasing will cause it to become smaller or more narrow. So, in order to do an invisible decrease, we first must stick our hook through the front loop of the stitch we want to decrease. So we don't stick our hook completely through both stitches like this, or through both loops of the stitch like this. We go through just the front loop only. Then we go through the front loop of the stitch next to it, like this, so that we have 3 loops on our hook. Then we yarn over and pull the yarn through the first front loop of the first stitch and the front loop of the second stitch. So now we have 2 loops. Then we yarn over and pull through both loops. And what we've just done is cause 2 stitches to become 1 stitch, and that's how we decrease. So let's try one more time. We go through the front loop of the first stitch, the front loop of the second stitch, yarn over and pull through the 2 front loops, yarn over and pull through the 2 loops. Let's try one more time. Put your hook through the front loop of the first stitch and the front loop of the second stitch, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over and pull again through 2 loops. And that's our decrease. Alright, so that should be all of the stitches that you need to do pretty much any of my amigurumi tutorials. If there are any other additional stitches that you'll need, I'll explain them within the tutorial, but these are the basic stitches you need to do pretty much all of my tutorials. So I hope this was informative. I hope it was easy to understand. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for more tutorials.